Sex is one of the most powerful and pervasive aspects of human life. It affects our emotions, relationships, health, happiness, and society. But how should we approach sex? How should we balance our sexual desires with our rational goals? How should we deal with the challenges and temptations that sex presents? And what can we learn from the ancient Stoics, who had a very different view of sex than most of us today? In this video, I share some of the most profound and striking quotes from the Stoic philosophers who taught that sex is a natural and necessary function of the human body, but not the ultimate value or source of happiness. Let's take a look at how their teachings can help us improve our own sex lives and achieve a more harmonious and fulfilling state of mind. This video will challenge some of your assumptions and beliefs about sex, and hopefully it will inspire you to think more deeply and critically about this important topic. If you are ready to learn from the Stoics and discover a new way of looking at sex, watch this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of more videos like this in the future. Sex is a natural and necessary function of the human body, but it should not be pursued for its own sake and should not disturb the rational mind. Sexuality is the most basic human instinct, but it is better to use it as a tool rather than an addiction to pleasure. The wise person is not fond of sexual pleasure, but neither does he avoid it. He uses it as a means to procreate and express love, but not as an obsession, or does not allow it to become a distraction. It is not the action itself that is important, but the character with which the action is performed. If it is consistent with virtue, it has value. True freedom lies not in satisfying every desire, but in choosing worthy ones. Sexual desire is not a vice, but a passion that can be restrained by reason. It is not wrong to feel it, but it is wrong to act on it without regard to virtue, duty, and the common good. The best sexual partner is not the most beautiful, the most attractive, the most talented, or the most passionate, but the one who is most compatible with your nature and your goals. Sex is a gift to be enjoyed, not a problem to be solved. This gift is one of the best gifts as long as it does not imprison you. It is a natural expression of the love and harmony that exists between two rational beings. There is nothing shameful or sinful about sex as long as it is consensual, respectful, and done in moderation. It is part of the human condition and a source of joy and gratitude. Sexual attraction is a powerful force that can help or hinder your progress on the path of wisdom the most. It can inspire you to cultivate virtue, or it can tempt you to abandon virtue. It is up to you to choose wisely. Sex is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. The goal is happiness, not pleasure. Happiness is found in the soul, not in the body. The soul is nourished by the mind, not by sex. The proper role of sex in human life is to create a bond of friendship and mutual support between two compatible partners. It is a matter of quality, not quantity. It is cooperation, not competition. Sex is a natural phenomenon, but not a necessary one. It is not necessary for happiness, nor is it harmful for happiness. It is a choice that each person has to make according to their own circumstances and preferences. Sex is not good or bad, it is neutral. It is not something positive or negative. It can be used for good or evil, depending on intention and outcome. It can be a source of virtue or vice, harmony or disharmony, peace or trouble. The wise person seeks sex not for its own sake, but for the sake of the one they love. He uses sex as a means of communication, appreciation, or celebration, not as a means of manipulation, domination, or exploitation. Sex is a privilege, not a duty, not a burden, but a blessing, not a necessity, but a luxury, not a right, but a gift. The Stoic does not abstain from sex, but neither does he desire it. He does not reject it, but neither is he dependent on it. He does not despise it, but neither does he glorify it. He accepts it, but does not cling to it. The Stoic sees sexuality as a naturally beneficial and harmless activity, but not as a fundamental or ultimate activity. He enjoys it when it is possible, but does not suffer when it is not. He values it as a means of expression, but does not identify with it as a source of identity. Sex is a complex and sensitive subject that requires wisdom and discretion. It is not something to be done lightly, randomly, or haphazardly. It is something to be done with care, caution, and diligence. The Stoic evaluates sex according to its purpose, not its pleasure. He seeks sex for its importance, not for its sensations. He values sex not for its intensity, but for its completeness. He considers sex not as a means of pleasure, but as a way of being. Sex is a natural and noble function of the human body, but not its highest or only function. It is subordinate to the function of the mind, which is to reason and act according to virtue. Sex should serve the mind, not rule it. It does not make the mind a slave to sex. Sex is a beautiful and powerful thing, but it is not the only thing. It is a part of life, but not the whole of life. It is a means to happiness, but not the end of happiness. Sex is not a problem to be avoided, but a challenge to be faced. It is not a weakness to be overcome, but a strength to be utilized. It is not a distraction to be ignored, but a motivation to be used. Sex is not a vice. It is a virtue if done with virtue. It is not a sin, but a grace if done with grace. It is not folly, but wisdom if done with wisdom. The Stoic does not have sex for the sake of sex. He has sex for the sake of the person with whom he has sex. He uses sex as a gift, a gesture, or a compliment, not as a tool, a toy, or a reward. Sex is an opportunity, not an obligation. It is an offer, not a demand. Not a pressure, but a pleasure. Not a chore, but a choice. The Stoic sees sex as a spiritual act, not just a physical act. He does not separate sex from love, but unites them. He does not isolate sex from the rest of his life, but integrates it. He does not degrade sex, but elevates it. The Stoic does not fear sex, but neither does he worship it. He doesn't run away from it, but he doesn't run after it either. He does not hate it, but neither does he love it. He respects it, but he is not obsessed with it. He does not do it for himself, but for the intimacy he can achieve with his partner. In a committed relationship, love and respect are far more valuable than momentary pleasures. Sex is part of human nature, and human nature is part of cosmic nature. Therefore, sex is part of cosmic nature, and cosmic nature is part of sex. To have sex in harmony and order is to reflect cosmic nature and cosmic order. The Stoic measures sex not by its quantity, but by its quality. He seeks sex not for its frequency, but for its fidelity. He values sex for its depth, not its duration. Sex is a natural and good thing, but it is not the best or the only thing. It is one of many things that can contribute to human happiness, but it is not the only or the main thing. It is a means of fulfillment, but not the essence of fulfillment. If sexual desires conflict with one's duties or values, duty and virtue take precedence. Lust is a fire that consumes the mind. This fire can engulf your mind. Guard your mind with care. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. I hope you will share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Let me know what you think about the Stoics and their views on sexuality. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Your support is very important to me. Until next time, stay wise, stay virtuous, and stay stoic.